Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Infinite Shadow Split. Chapter 31. Boom, rumble, rumble. Quote, Tang Gao controlled the righteous chi to form a defense on the surface of his body, constantly retreating, and firing cannonballs at the same time. The magic mechanical puppet faced the shell bombardment. The first shot hit the chest, directly blown out of a large pit. The entire puppet was blown into the second half of the cage area, embedded in the steel bar, desperate to watch the continuous shells continue to fly over. It turns out that it is still somewhat useful to practice more. Tang Gao was stunned that it took several more rounds to blow up this mechanical demon clan. Tang Gao sighed and put down the steaming breech. If this is facing a demon clan in the middle and late stages of the third order, I am afraid that the power may not be enough. Quote, the body of the demon race is naturally much stronger than that of the human race, and the same firepower may not be enough in front of the demon race. Kill the magic mechanical puppet and avenge the more than 100 people to get the justice value and the brutality value. I also got the alchemy equipment from the refinery. Tang Gao took a look at the results. It was great, but he was close to perfection and found that new options appeared. Clear memory challenge again, retain memory challenge again. There is also a subdivision below to divide who to keep or clear. Tang Gao chose to clear this memory and challenge again, get the perfect and then withdraw. 10 minutes later, Tang Gao lay on the bed, feeling refreshed and smiling, very satisfied with the result this time. The whole process of the rocket launcher opened the way, killed the boss to get the key, came underground to unbind the instrument, and directly blew up the magic mechanical puppet on the spot. Cool. I like this kind of speedrun after getting the guide. Tang Gao enjoyed this comfort, sat up, briefly summarized his recent changes, and stroked his chin. With the improvement of strength, the speedrunning efficiency of getting a perfect evaluation is getting higher and higher, and the Samsung task is no longer as difficult as before. Quote, although Shu Wei is still very pulling compared to the enemies in these missions. But what? The most powerful thing about humans is that they use tools. Relying on these weapons and equipment obtained, the pseudo-third order mechanical demon race also had to be violently killed on the spot. Tang Gao licked his lips, his eyes were excited, and he didn't feel too addicted. This difficulty has dropped, it's too easy, you have to continue to have some fun. Quote, after playing a tough copy for 2 days, it took 2 or 3 times to clear the level, and I was not used to it all of a sudden. Tang Gao began to collect the reward first. Mission completion. Perfect evaluation, mission reward. 1 year of cultivation, alchemy wizard talent card, first order perfect talent, activated shadow skill to improve by 1 level, alchemy wizard talent, first order perfect talent, improve alchemy efficiency by 100%, success rate by 60%, increase the number of Chengdan by 100%, and increase the quality of small probability by 1 order. Note, the talent is 100% effective for the lower level, and each higher level will be punished by difficulty. Activate Shadow new effect. Active Shadow life acquires camouflage skills. Passive strong energy recovery ability is improved. Tang Gao tactically leaned back, his eyes widened, and he couldn't help but let out a national essence, lying groove. Quote, needless to say, 1 year of cultivation, it has long been expected. But this talent card is also too perverted. Reduce the refining time by half. Refine twice the number of pills, and the most terrifying thing is to increase the success rate by 60%. If nothing else, a first-order alchemist, as long as the basic skills are solid, even if it is the first time to contact the pill, there is a success rate of close to 20% to refine the finished pill. You directly increase it by 60% in one breath, and I let the alchemist doppelganger exercise a little more, wouldn't it be 100% success rate? Rounded, this is equivalent to the ability to pick up 100% success rate of alchemy for nothing. Greatly reduces the cost of trial and error. And this small probability grade increases by 1 order. I'm going to send it. If the first order elixir is increased from the first order to the second order, this is completely 2 prices. It seems to be added to the first order, but there is pure profiteering in this. The cost price of 1 yuan of pills, sold to others as 2 yuan, increase the first order to the second order, the price is 12 yuan. It seems that the increase is 10 yuan, but it is actually an increase of 10 times the huge profit. The enhancement of the active effect can be regarded as solving the small trouble of obtaining camouflage skills, which is a wave of small enhancements. But the highlight is the second point. I'll go. This energy recovery ability improvement is also very perverted. Originally, the fusion avatar had greatly enhanced the mana pool, and then obtained a strong energy recovery ability, and the endurance was greatly guaranteed. Tang Gao couldn't help but laugh out loud. Ma ya, this wave has made a lot of money today. Quote. Not only did I get a huge reward, but I also got so many rocket launchers and guns, and I walked directly sideways in the future. Of course, on the official side, I still need to be a little more low-key. But later when it comes to completing the task, it will be much easier. Tang Gao rubbed his hands excitedly, and couldn't help but experiment now. First give the talent card to the alchemist doppelganger, and then let him use the alchemy equipment of the Clover Group Alchemy Refinery to produce pills, and then sell their pills. Quote. Use the machines of the Clover Group, use the Danfang of the Clover Group, and use the technology of the Clover Group to hit the Clover Group in the face. Just think about it. The talent has been installed for the alchemist doppelganger, and the alchemist doppelganger has been equipped with alchemy space. Tang Gao's eyes widened. Is it so cool? Quote. Good fellow, not only is it fully equipped, but there is also a place for refining medicine. Let's go, let's go sell medicine now, start a price war, and let these guys backward capital groups see what is called the iron fist of doppelganger autocracy. Tang Gao laughed, his hands crossed his waist, to let these guys see, what is the beating of advanced doppelganger productivity. At 9 o'clock in the evening, on the crowded streets of Liangchang Commercial Street, a young man with a scent of herbs and a gentle smile stood on the street, set up a small table, set up a pill bottle, entered a voice into the loudspeaker, and began to sell. No money, no deposit, as long as the materials, good quality, excellent quality, perfect quality Clover Group pill sale. 1 elixir for 3 ingredients. Material is not limited. The price is just offset. The alchemist doppelganger also opened a bottle of vanilla elixir and crushed the elixir with a unique leisure and elegance, sprinkled it around the table, emitting a clear fragrance of grass, injecting a unique natural fragrance into this bustling street, which shocked the spirits of passers-by and cast curious eyes over. I haven't smelled this natural fragrance in the steel forest for a long time. An uncle with a briefcase smelled the smell, his eyes lit up, he leaned over, and couldn't help but laugh kindly. Is the young man just graduated? This is also too exaggerated, and I am not afraid to flash my tongue when I shout it. Quote. This young man has real material, but to use this phrase, it is too exaggerated. Clover Group has a lot of black materials, but only in the quality and yield of elixirs, it is really not black. Ordinary people and organizations are really difficult to achieve the step of the Clover Group, so let them become bigger. Tang Gao was not happy, and rolled his eyes. Don't pit or deceive, the technology used is still refined by the data of the Clover Group, the quality of this elixir is here, you don't believe it, you cannot buy it. The briefcase uncle laughed. The young man is still quite angry. Okay, I look at you, this pill, just this bottle of green herb pill in your hand, sell it to me, how about it? This thing is really good when used as an air freshener, and the taste is quite good. Quote. The information of Clover Group has been disclosed on the whole network. This kid really makes sense with the technology of Clover Group, and the difficulty of imitating low-level pills is not high for professional users. Tang Gao sighed, threw it directly, and did not forget to introduce it. This is a civilian Qingxin pill, which can calm the mind and help cultivate meditation and meditation. I don't want money, I just need alchemy materials, and the price you can offset according to the price of Tauba. Quote. Civilian generally refers to not reaching the level of cultivators. Ordinary martial artists, Taoists, etc., although not cultivators, also use these things. Even if it is not a cultivation profession, ordinary people use these things to achieve very good results. Uncle Briefcase caught it, and his face was stunned. Qingxin Dan. A bottle of Qingxin pill starting from 1,000. Quote. Can I buy something so expensive at a street stall? Tang Gao shrugged his shoulders and added. Wrong, this is a good quality Qingxin pill. The price of a bottle starts at 1,500. I sell it at a cost price now, you only need to give me 200 yuan to offset the materials. The corner of Uncle Briefcase's mouth twitched for a while, feeling that this matter was still very outrageous, and pointed to his nose. Do you know who I am? Do you know what your behavior is? Quote. I have this money, why don't I go to a regular store to buy it? Also buy it at your stall. Tang Gao blinked. I don't know you again, how do I know who you are? Quote. The briefcase uncle exposed his bag, and there was a line written on it. Market Supervision Authority. Tang Gao tactically leaned back and suddenly realized, oh, ran into a professional household. The briefcase uncle stretched out his hand and smiled. You can call me to Comrade Xiao Lu. Young man, I see that you are also young. I will give you popular science. Counterfeiting an illegal profit will involve the crime of fraud. If you sell it for a few tens of dollars, or 200 or 300 air fresheners, I won't care. As soon as I smell this nose, I know that your technology is worth this price, and it is absolutely no problem to sell this price. But if your stuff is not worth the price and the illegal profit exceeds 3,000 yuan, it is enough to file a case. Young man, if your price is slightly lowered, you don't need to go to the Market Supervision Bureau. I can now give you a note and allow you to sell pills formally. Tang Gao pouted. Are you a pill professional? Comrade. Xiao Lu shook his head. I'm not, but I haven't eaten pork, haven't I seen pigs run? Quote. After handling so much work, I still have some eyesight and discernment. Tang Gao rolled his eyes. Then what conclusion are you talking about? If you don't investigate, you don't have the right to speak, understand? Quote. Myself. Ah no, the elixir I refined separately, can I not know what quality it is? Before I came, I also deliberately looked at the price of Tauba and never said nonsense. Comrade Xiao Lu refuted and smiled, nodded, took out his mobile phone from his pocket, and smiled. Okay, then I will invite a professional to come and appraise. As long as your quality is up to standard, you kid don't have to go to the bureau to apply for approval. I will not only approve the note for you, I will also publicize it to you on the spot. Quote. Chapter 32. Tang Gao looked indifferent and continued to use loudspeakers to publicize. Comrade Xiao Lu opened the bottle cap and sniffed, his eyes slightly bright. The quality is good, it is indeed a good product, and you can really get by charging 200 yuan. But I still say that, you young man is somewhat false propaganda. I don't embarrass you, as long as you change this part, this matter will pass. Young people, making a small mistake is not a problem, knowing that mistakes can be corrected, and it is a great deal. Tang Gao was too lazy to pay attention to him, leaned on the chair, and sat waiting for someone with fortune to come and buy pills. The main thing was a fate. Comrade Xiao Lu saw that he ignored himself and was not angry, and said with a smile to the people around him, in addition to the ingredients of false propaganda, the quality of the pills sold by this young man has no problem with itself. It is a good product. If you are interested, you can also buy it. Tang Gao held Erlang's legs, exuding mid-first order cultivation fluctuations, and couldn't help but complain. I said, uncle, if you want to take advantage of me, can you go to another place? Comrade. Xiao Lu saw this fluctuation, his eyes lit up, and he gave a thumbs up. Young and promising, I am at your age, I am still not in the flow. Young man, you are very talented, but I still say that, as long as you are willing to remove the element of false propaganda, I will definitely not say anything, give you propaganda on the spot. Tang Gao rolled his eyes and waved his hand to chase away flies. You are false propaganda, your whole family is false propaganda. Quote. I hate this kind of real person who is not very professional in my life. When the pedestrians around saw this scene, they couldn't help but laugh out loud. Originally, I was a little worried, but now I look at it, good boy, this guy looks about 20, he actually has a mid-order cultivation, and the quality of this elixir is afraid that there is something. Hey, didn't the comrades of the People's Market Supervision Bureau say that the quality of pills is a good product, although it is a bit of an exaggerated propaganda ingredient, but the problem is not big, there is no problem with things. Haha, this young man has a really hard temper, and he is still on the same page with others. Comrade Xiao Lu smiled and shouted at the passers-by. This young man has a bad temper, and the propaganda is exaggerated, but this thing is indeed a good product. Just this air freshener, it is still worth spending 200 or 300 to buy home, and the quality really has nothing to say. Tang Gao couldn't help but slap the table and scolded, Clear Heart Pill. Civilian Qingxin Dan. Clover Group's Technology. Quote. I hate this kind of polite guy who doesn't recognize the goods. Comrade Xiao Lu was also not annoyed, laughing and taking out his mobile phone. You kid, don't think that I take advantage of you. You quoted this price, I will be happy to buy. Where is the collection code? I'll buy it now. But when the major comes, you have to spread the word. Tang Gao was a little unhappy, but stretched out his hand not to hit the smiling person. directly turned off the horn, and glared at Comrade Xiaolu. I sue you, the person you call had better be professional, otherwise I will spray you to death today. You know or not, just because you're standing here, I can't sell anything. Comrade Xiaolu was helpless for a while. I am happy to buy it, but you will give me the collection code. Don't buy it, give me back. Tang Gao directly took back the Qingxin pill in his hand with a direct agent, and was very dissatisfied with this person who disturbed his business. Comrade Xiaolu's hand was light, his face was stunned, he looked down at the empty palm, and shook it, as if the weight of the bottle of elixir was still left on his hand, and couldn't help but gasp for cold skin. Good guy, so fast. Quote, First order cultivators have seen a lot, they are so good, and they are so young, they are really the first ones. There were more and more pedestrians watching, but two experts also saw the doorway and pointed to Tang Gao. This young man's attributes are not simple, either the wind system or the battle chi system. Yes, it is absolutely impossible to be a lower attribute, and this shot speed is not something that the lower attribute can strengthen. I'll go, when will this person emerge in our Liangcheng? Comrade Xiaolu no longer spoke lightly, picked up his mobile phone and urged his friend, you hurry. Stuck in traffic, you run over. What's wrong with letting you run? What I encountered here is definitely worth your running over, you sneak. Quote. With this hand, this young man who sells pills is definitely a dragon and phoenix among people, and his achievements will definitely not be low in the future. Tang Gao rolled his eyes. With this product here, his own elixir was afraid that it would not sell smoothly, so he had to take out the mobile phone seized from others and start to swipe the sound. After a while, a middle-aged fat uncle, intensifying his mana, ran over with rough but fast steps, swinging his arms. After running over, the fat uncle first punched Comrade Xiaolu and cursed, you are sick, right? Shouting me out at night to work overtime. Do you pay me overtime? After the beating, he took out a handkerchief from his pocket, wiped the hot sweat from his forehead, and panted breathlessly. Comrade Xiaolu received this punch with a smile and pointed to the table. The quality of this young man's elixir is good, but it is a bit false propaganda, and his mouth is still hard, so I have to say no. I thought that it was okay for the young man to make some mistakes, just change it. He didn't hit, he had to let me find a professional, didn't I just call you here? The fat uncle rolled his eyes, are you special? Hey, what does this taste like? The fat uncle's nose moved, his eyes lit up, and he pushed Comrade Xiaolu away. Get up, you are blocking good things. Comrade Xiaolu was pushed away with a stagger, looking at his obsessive friend, helpless. The fat uncle looked at the residue on the ground, hurriedly took out his glasses from his pocket and put them on, and also picked up a little residue and sniffed it in his palm, and said excitedly, good thing, Clover Group's Qingxin pill, the material is very exquisite, the taste is lighter, the medicinal effect is milder, and the effect is better than the original. Is this an improved version? The fat uncle stood up, holding the pill residue in his hand, looked at Tang Gao, and looked excited, young man, this is what you refined. This improvement idea is simply brilliant. Very accessible. The stunned look on Comrade Xiaolu's face exploded directly, and his pupils shook. This is really a pure heart pill. This is not right, I have also used Qingxin Dan, this is even lighter. Pedestrians were dumbfounded, too. Isn't it? This is really a pure heart pill. Or that version of Clover. It's impossible, you sell this kind of thing at the stall. What's the picture? I'm stupid, I thought it was the young man exaggerating the propaganda, but I didn't expect that I didn't have the eyes to recognize the good goods. I knew that this thing was of good quality, but I didn't expect the quality to be so good. The fat uncle hurriedly took out the chest tag of the second-grade alchemist from his pocket and hung it on his clothes, and kicked it on Comrade Xiaolu's leg, making him talk less. You know a fart pill, go aside, this young man refined an improved version, the medicinal effect is milder and longer lasting. Comrade Xiaolu stumbled, his face turned red, and then he realized that he had lost sight of Mount Tai, and hurriedly apologized. Young man, I'm sorry, it's my uncle's fault, my uncle apologizes to you. I'll give you a note and give you propaganda now. Tang Gao's face softened slightly. The problem is very big, fortunately, I am a very careful person, you can rest assured, I will not sell you a bottle of pills here. Comrade Xiaolu was speechless for a while, and the speed of taking out the paper and pen from his briefcase was a little slower, but he had to take it out. Okay, Well, it's my mistake. Hey, now this little young man has a really big temper. The fat uncle looked at Zyle and couldn't stop laughing. You old boy must have offended people before I came, you deserve it. The quality of this elixir is a good thing in the genuine store, you say that people are false propaganda, ha 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 ha. The fat uncle gloated, expressed deep concern about what happened to his friend, and wished for another wave. The fat uncle turned his head and asked with a smile, young man, your technique is very good, even in the first order alchemist, your technique is extremely creative, has it been verified? Do you want me to give you a guarantee to get one? Tang Gao looked at the professional household, and his face was much better. I've been busy recently, I don't have time to go to the examination, and when I have time, I may have the mood to get it. The fat uncle put the medicine residue on the table, wiped his hands, stretched out his hand, and smiled. My name is Wei Zhe, the second-grade alchemist of the Pill Association, and the silly dog next to me is my iron brother, although he has no brains and no skills, but he is indeed a good person. Young man, multiple friends have many paths, you don't see like a fool, he knows a fart pill. Quote. Will I die if you don't hurt me? Comrade Xiao Lu was greatly displeased, put the sliver on the table, pressed it with a bottle, and deliberately stood in front of the table and took a photo of himself and the sliver, so that he could go through the process in the future, and this photo is empirical. Comrade Xiao Lu's face turned slightly red, and he apologized to Tang Gao again. Young man, this time I don't recognize the goods, so, this bottle of Qingxin pill, I bought it at double the original price, what do you think? Tang Gao pouted, feeling much better. Okay, but I only want raw materials, I don't want money. Comrade. Xiao Lu held the mobile phone and his face was stunned, don't want money. Why? Tang Gao blinked, he couldn't say that the alchemist doppelganger didn't have an ID card and no mobile phone, so he couldn't get the collection code, his brain moved slightly, and he thought of an answer. Under the age of 18, I can't apply for a collection code. In an instant, the surroundings fell silent. Comrade Xiao Lu's face was shocked, and he couldn't help but gasp for cold skin. Wei Ji's second-grade alchemist's face was shocked, and he couldn't help but gasp for cold skin. The pedestrians' faces were shocked and they couldn't help but gasp for cold skin. The pedestrians were dumbfounded. 18-year-old mid-first order cultivator. Or the leader among the first order alchemists. This skill is still a strong man in the same rank. Is this Nima 18? When I was 18, I was still begging my mother to give myself 10 yuan more pocket money. Tang Gao shrugged. So I had to buy raw materials so that I could practice alchemy techniques. The lad is so inspiring. Make your own money and learn alchemy by yourself. Groove. Such a powerful genius, can't you cherish it at home? What about school? Is the school so irresponsible to the students? Such a good genius, let out of the stall to make money. Wei Ji's jaw was about to fall, dumbfounded, isn't it? Do you need to use this method to buy raw materials? What about your parents? Why didn't your parents solve this for you? Quote. How can you still let children come out to make money to buy alchemy materials? This parent is also too irresponsible. Such a powerful genius, I am afraid that I will fall in the palm of my hand. Tang Gao scratched his face and said naturally, Mom and Dad are ordinary people, and they only have a total income of 8 or 9,000 a month, and they can't afford to buy alchemy medicinal materials. Quote. Poor martial arts, rich play Dan. Ordinary people's families can't afford the cultivation price of alchemists. Comrade Xiao Lu's face was extremely ashamed, and his voice couldn't help but stutter, you this. You this. Yes. At this moment, he thought of the behavior he had just done to obstruct this young man's false propaganda. Damn it. I'm really damned. I'm really damned. Chapter 33. The family conditions are average. The self-reliant genius boy, cultivation and alchemy did not fall behind, came out to sell pills for academic progress, and he also obstructed several times. Comrade Xiao Lu now can't wait to find a seam to drill into, and his face burst red. Young man, Uncle just didn't understand the situation. Uncle apologizes to you again, so let's do it. These pills, you quote a price, I can charge as much as I can, Uncle will make amends to you. Tang Gao shook his head. No, I will sell it at cost and then collect the raw materials. Quote. I'm here to disrupt Clover's market, not to make money. Only this most ruthless ultra-low price war can pry open the crack of the Clover group. Wei Zhe pondered for a moment, took out his mobile phone, and sent a photo to Comrade Xiaolu. This is my collection code, you go and print it. Comrade Xiaolu looked at him suspiciously. Wei Zhe turned his head and said with a smile, young man, let's do this, I'll collect the money for you, you say an address, I'll ship the raw materials over, how about it? I am a second-grade alchemist of the Pill Association, so it is still okay to help you deal with the elixir. Tang Gao thought that this was also a good way. Yes, very good, I will give you this bottle of elixir. Tang Gao directly handed the Qingxin pill in his hand to Wei Zhe. Wei Zhe couldn't laugh or cry. Isn't this the bottle that his friend just bought? Wei Zhe smiled, turned around and pulled Comrade Xiaolu, who hadn't gone far. How much is this pill? Payment, I sold you this bottle of elixir. Comrade Xiaolu's face twisted for a while. No, do you have to disgust me? Buy or not? If you don't buy it, hurry up and print the payment code for me. Comrade Xiaolu was speechless, so he had to take out his mobile phone and pay. Buy, 200 swept over, I'll print it. He snatched the pill, turned around and went to the print shop to punch out the collection code. The smile on Wei Zhe's face froze, turned his head, and looked at Tang Gao, who had a calm face. The improved version of the Clover Group's civilian Qingxin pill, you sell it for 200 yuan. Quote. This guarantee can sell something for 2,000 yuan, you sell 200 yuan. Tang Gao shrugged. I just came to destroy the market of Clover Group. Wei Zhe was speechless, pointing to the pill on the table. Your cost price, is it really only the cost price? Something for thousands of dollars, you only charge a tenth of the price. Tang Gao nodded. Yes, I still sell it expensive, and I want money for 3 materials. Wei Zhe's face twisted for a while. This is still expensive. Quote. No, are you a donkey pulling a mill or a cow plowing the field? Do you don't want money for your artificial energy and technical content? Is there such a volume with you? You naked malicious competition. Tang Gao ignored him. Each person is limited to a limited number of places. As long as you shout a word to bring down the Clover Group, you can buy good products and excellent pills at cost prices. Wei Zhe was speechless, but the words were smashed on the ground, so he had to open the mobile phone collection code interface, put it on the table, and said to the pedestrians around him, I am the Pill Association, a member of the second-grade alchemist, Wei Zhe, have a professional title. If you are not sure about the quality of the pill, you can find me for appraisal. At present, the quality of this young man's elixir is very guaranteed. After Wei Zhe finished speaking, he turned his head again and said in a low voice, when he comes later, you quickly drive him away. He is from the Market Supervision Bureau, and your price is considered malicious competition. Tang Gao glanced at Wei Zhe, and his good feelings increased. You leave a number, I want to ask you for advice when I encounter something in the future. Wei Zhe laughed and reported his number. Seeing this, the pedestrians around wanted to buy it first, but seeing that there were second-grade alchemists from the Pill Association, they had to hurriedly line up and come over to buy them one by one. Buy a bottle and shout, down with the Clover Group. Then happily took the pill bottle and left. After a while, Comrade Xiaolu came over, put the collection code on the table, took 2 bottles of milk tea in his hand, and put them on the table with a smile. Don't be angry, young man, drink a cup of milk tea, this cup is for you, fat dog. Tang Gao took the milk tea and coughed lightly. Thank you, uncle, you can go, don't block me from doing business. Comrade Xiaolu's face was slightly red, and he held the briefcase. It's not embarrassing, our unit just has task indicators every year. If you don't dislike it, you give these pills to our unit. As long as the quality is fine, let them shout as many times as they shout to bring down the Clover Group. Quote. Tang Gao looked at Wei Zhe. It's quite difficult for your friend to drive away. Wei Zhe covered his mouth and cleared his throat. I'll deal with it here. You are a layman, a pill that understands a fart. Don't bother as professionally to make money here. Comrade Xiaolu was speechless, faintly feeling despised by these 2 stinky alchemists, but he had to raise his hand and forgive. Don't scold, I know it's wrong, okay, I'll go. Comrade Xiaolu had just taken 2 steps when he heard a voice on his friend's mobile phone, receive 200 yuan. Ideographic period. Comrade Xiaolu stopped in his steps, turned his head, looked at Wei Zhe, and his face was strange. Is the quality of the elixir a good product, or is it an improved version of the Clover Group, selling it at this price? Quote. No, something for a few $1,000s, you sell it for this price. Are you trying to wash away the price of the elixir market? What's the difference between you and giving it away for nothing? Wei Zhe looked at his nose and mouth and heart. The alchemist's personal behavior, you don't care, he didn't open a company. Comrade Xiao Lu looked at his friend speechlessly. Can you teach some good ones to the young man, don't bring him badly. Wei Zhe glared. You know a fart elixir. Do you want me to take him to the examination now, and after the certificate, you will babble again? Comrade Xiao Lu had a headache, clasped his hands together, and hurriedly retreated. Okay, I'm wrong, I'm going to go. Comrade. Xiao Lu was speechless, so he had to leave immediately, and his friend taught the child to exploit loopholes in front of him. Pedestrians in line laughed and watched the comrade of the Market Supervision Bureau leave. Wei Zhe saw him leave, his face eased a lot, picked up the big speaker and began to shout, the cost price of the improved pill of the Clover Group is on sale. The second-grade alchemist of the Pill Association is guaranteed. Live appraisal, live sale. Not good, don't want money. Quality guaranteed, don't miss it. Just shout down the Clover Group and sell it at the cost price. Quote. The pedestrians passing by around saw that this place was so lively, and when they heard this, and chatted with the queue, they were shocked, and quickly joined the queue, for fear of missing such a good opportunity. Tang Gao was shocked, and couldn't help but put the mobile phone in his pocket and stood up. Uncle, you are also working too hard. Quote. The set I just did, compared with this one, is simply unprofessional. Wei Zhe squeezed his eyebrows at him and smiled. Young man, your alchemy technique is very good, but when it comes to selling things, learn from me well, and you will be able to use it in the future. To make money, you have to let go of your face, your voice brightened, your attitude straight, and make sure that you sell more. Not to mention that you are a thing, the quality is really strong. Tang Gao was in awe, and immediately put his hand under the table, but in fact, he reached into the space backpack and brought out the accumulated pill box. After selling this box, divide your profit by 2%. Quote. I have to say that professional things, leaving professional people to do is really effective. Wei Zhe looked at the phone box brought up and fell into deep thought. Young man, you really don't treat yourself as a person. Quote. Selling this table at cost is too much. Why do you still sell it as a phone box? Isn't your colleague too much a role? Chapter 34. Wei Zhe has seen roles other people's, has seen role technology, seen role prices, and even seen role backgrounds. Only I haven't seen it, and the role rolls itself into this. Exchanging Chengdan for 3 medicinal herbs, behind this is the self-confidence of thousands of temperings and the unruly pride. It proves that this little guy firmly believes that he only needs 3 medicinal materials to refine pills. Wei Zhe believed that he could do this, because the quality of the hot elixir that he sold was here. But aren't you too much of this? Wei Zhe had a toothache, and for the sake of the child's need for help, he had to continue to help sell. Occasionally, people wearing the chest tag of the Clover Group appeared in the crowd, and after seeing that it was a second-grade alchemist shouting, they only dared to leave angrily and did not dare to make a second attempt. Soon, a table of pills was sold out. During the period, Tang Gao was also very enthusiastic according to the needs of the guests. Introduce what pills to buy, how to use. If there is still something you don't understand, you can go online 1000 Degrees Clover Group's public information, according to the above instructions to use. Now, with just a finger, you can find the internal information of Clover Group on Qiandu. Wei Zhe had already called the Pill Association, and soon asked people to send a car to deliver the medicinal materials. Tang Gao hummed a small tune, cleaned up the small table, and prepared to close the stall. The pedestrians around him were very enthusiastic about him. Teacher Lian, will you still sell it tomorrow? Tang Gao nodded with a smile. Sell it as usual tomorrow. As long as the Clover Group is in Liangcheng for 1 day, I will sell it for 1 day. Wei Zhe sighed. Are you kid really here? You are also not afraid of them retaliating against you? Tang Gao pouted. If I give up resisting because I am afraid, then how much do I live to hold back? Wei Zhe shook his head, did not speak, just surrendered his hand. Good boy, with temper, I admire your nature. Quote. The Clover Group has been targeted by major official organizations, and recently there are some unclear underground organizations that are also surrounding the Clover Group. At this juncture, Clover Group may not be able to take care of this little guy. Besides, how can selling such a little elixir disrupt the market? Tang Gao smiled, calculated for a while, and handed over his hand. I'll go to rest for an hour, and after an hour, we will continue to sell pills. Quote. The air fell silent. A question mark slowly floated on Wei Ji's head. What do you mean to continue selling after an hour? Isn't that all of your inventory? Quote. The donkeys in the production team all need to rest, you don't bring rest. Tang Gao smiled, did not explain, but hung up the sign of the 1-hour rest, walked towards the medicinal material transport truck containing medicinal materials, waved his hand, put all the medicinal materials inside into the space backpack, and then waved at everyone with a bright smile. See you in an hour, bye-bye. Chose to terminate the task, and the alchemist doppelganger disappeared in an instant. Wei Ji was dumbfounded. Huh. Space ring. Teleportation spells. Quote. No, what is the situation? Some rich boy comes out to act in the script. Or is it some disciple of a big guy who sees that the Clover Group is not pleasing to the eye and comes over to make trouble? The pedestrians were dumbfounded, just watching teacher Lien disappear. I'll go. What kind of spell is this? Escape. It's not like a retreat technique, which is when people shrink underground. I'm stupid, come back in an hour. Wei Ji was a little confused, sat on the chair, took out a handkerchief and wiped the sweat from his forehead, and for a while he was a little confused about what the situation was. In the bedroom, Don Gao sat on a chair. He moved his shoulders and felt happy. It's a pity that the alchemy skill level is low, otherwise the efficiency of producing pills can be higher. Quote. There is room for alchemy, but it can be produced 24 hours a day, but unfortunately there is no better way to expand production at present. Simply selling such a small amount of pills has a relatively small impact on the market of Clover Group. In order to accomplish this task, it is necessary to have unusual means. Increase production, create brands, find people to cooperate, and innovate medicine. For now, you can start with these 4 points. System, is there any elixir that increases production? Searching. Retrieval completed. 1 heart and 2 uses. So that the user can do 2 things at the same time, which needs to consume mana and mental power to maintain. Consumption. 2 years of cultivation. System. Users can let the alchemist learn the skill separately, so that they can consume mana alchemy in the alchemy space while selling pills. All go, good things. In this way, the production can be increased, and the alchemist will produce without eating or drinking for a whole day, and the speed of skill improvement and upgrading will be greatly improved. Bought it, bought it. After the consumption alchemist has finished cultivating, the alchemist has learned the skill. Tang Gao's eyes lit up, and he hurriedly sat up straight. Then you don't collect money. Quote. Updating the store system. The currency system has been added, and the real world has been synchronized. Users can use the collection code provided by this system. Great. In this way, the brand problem is also solved. As for finding someone to work with, Tang Gaoke remembered that the violent justice messenger had been to black market activities, and it was good to let him solve this problem. There was no need to do everything himself. Elixir innovation is very simple. Directly consume cultivation to increase the level of Danfang. Well, the 4-star mission is in a hurry, and it is estimated that it will have to hang for a few more days to complete. The main thing is that the alchemist doppelganger is too good now. If the 2nd-grade alchemist, and then get a set of excellent alchemy furnace and other productivity equipment, the impact on the Clover Group's pill market is very stable. Tang Gao stroked his chin. I have to find a way to give the alchemist a whole career card. Quote. The alchemist avatar is too slow to improve, and it is not at the same level as the violent righteous messenger. Task retrieval. After searching. Career task. Refine 1,000 perfect pills, taste 1,000 medicinal materials, master 1,000 pills, you can get the Shenong Alchemist career card. Tang Gao was stunned. What? Quote. Is it so livery? Fortunately, it's not me who wants to burst the liver, I can only work hard for you, doppelganger. Not to mention how difficult it is to refine a perfect quality elixir. Just the next 1,000 medicinal materials and 1,000 pills are enough for the liver for a long time. Its difficulty is comparable to the 3 evolutionary strips in the Blood Fury Servant case, which exploded the liver in a row. Hey, can I arrange an evolution strip for the alchemist doppelganger? Only then did Tang Gao remember this. happily opened the alchemist's personal panel, and began to screen the direction of evolution. This divine skill is really great, there is actually this direction. Alchemy Quality Evolution Article, First Order, Level 1, 0%. Not bad, good, another set of leveling schemes. Tang Gao began to arrange a work plan for the alchemist so that he could have a fulfilling life to refine himself. Finally, Tang Gao glanced at the progress bar of the 4-star mission, and only then advanced to single digits. It's really worthy of a 4-star difficulty, it seems that it takes a liver for a week. Tang Gao closed the panel and gave instructions to the violent messenger of justice. The alchemist is busy refining pills, you remember to take the time to screen the appropriate information to go public, and continue to pressure the Clover Group. Quote. Xiao Zian, I make this matter a little public every day, I don't believe you can still stand here. Finally, Tang Gao looked at the requirements of the 4-star mission and wondered what other way to speed up the progress. A flash of light flashed in Tang Gao's mind. System, if I go to rob their medicinal materials and sell them, is it considered progress? Quote. The mission requires more than just selling pills. Searching. The plan is feasible. Tang Gao laughed and directly changed the direction of the work of the Violent Justice Messenger. From today onwards, the Violent Justice Messenger, you go to rob the Clover Group's medicinal materials and elixirs. Alchemist, you are in charge of refining pills for sale, and there is no time to refine the medicinal materials, so that the Violent Messenger of Justice can be sold on the black market. Quote. 1 sabotage by force, 1 destruction by the market. The main thing is to do what you can. An immortal violent messenger of justice, an alchemist doppelganger who exploded his liver. I don't believe that a 4-star mission will not be completed yet. Chapter 35. Not to mention, there is still the core machine of the refinery in the alchemy space, and with these things, it is only a matter of time before it destroys the pill market of the Clover Group. Well, I just don't know, how many factories have they opened? I'll continue to wreak havoc tomorrow. Tang Gao turned off the mission system with some regret and let the 2 doppelgangers hang up automatically. It's a pity that the mission system has a cooldown time, otherwise I will directly explode your Clover Group in one night. Endorse the endorsement, tomorrow I have to visit the military base. Before graduation, each class of high school seniors will visit the military base in the city to stimulate everyone's willingness to join the army. Tang Gao's goal was very clear, so he made up his mind to go to Qingkai, not wanting to join the military organization too early. After going to Qingkai, after returning to his hometown, it is also good to live a good life with Lu Ren and grow up. Tianma Avenue, Pharmaceutical Incubation Base, Clover Group Liangcheng Branch, President's Office. Now, Wei Lan, Xuan, Zhao Shan, the main responsible members of the current branch company, read the report of their subordinates with black faces. Xuan ridiculed a very unfunny remark. So, we were tricked by a first-order genius cultivator. Wei Lan squinted at him. How? Do you believe such nonsense? The illusion that shrouded the entire alchemy factory, not to mention that this was at least a wide area spell of the 3rd order or above, and directly removing the spatial device of the core machine was not something that ordinary cultivators could have. Zhao Shan's eyes became even more gloomy. The house leak coincided with the overnight rain. Now let them strengthen their vigilance. Some organizations have begun to attack us. This will only be the first shot. From the moment the information was made public, Zhao Shan knew that someone would attack the Clover Group, but he didn't expect that he would actually send a first-order genius cultivator to attack, and those sinister and despicable rats were hiding in the dark waiting for an opportunity, waiting for themselves and others to leak flaws. Xuan smiled sarcastically, his eyes changed slightly, and his expression became serious. Young Master Zhao, do you think that a few of us are here and are qualified to handle this matter? Zhao Shan was angry at first, but seeing his expression, he realized that what he wanted to say next was not simple, and suppressed his anger again. Say. Xuan pointed at Wei Lan. You should ask her why she concealed the news she sent to Wei Xing. I just learned something from the informant of the Guardian Bureau, and recently a great power appeared in Liangcheng vaguely. Zhao Shan's anger instantly dissipated, and he stared at Wei Lan nervously. What are you hiding? Quote. Mighty, the judging criteria are not the same, but the lowest are the strong people who guard the side, have a long lifespan, strong strength, and the words between jokes can affect the life direction of millions of people. Wei Lan's face turned pale, and he was stunned. this is just a guess, there is no evidence. Zhao Shan slapped her angrily, his eyes were red, and he roared lowly, guess. A guess. Do you know how much loss will be caused to our group by provoking a great power? Even if it was a guess, a slight possibility, Zhao Shan did not dare to gamble. They dare not face the will of power. Great power not only has the power of terror, but also the influence of terror in a certain industry, and in a word, it can affect the life direction of millions of people. Wei Lan covered his face and looked aggrieved. It's General Liu, he applied to investigate the movements of a mysterious power. I only know this, I don't know what he is doing. My brother most likely bumped into the muzzle of the gun that General Liu just came out to move. Zhao Shan looked at Xuan, his eyes narrowed, and a dangerous light flashed in his eyes. We have long known that General Liu is targeting us, but I think that what you want to say should be more than that. Quote. Xuan is using himself to suppress Wei Lan, Zhao Shan knows. However, if Xuan can't give important information, Zhao Shan would let him know that his surname was Zhao. Seeing that the goal had been achieved, Xuan smiled a little, steadied his voice and said, my informant also gave me a second piece of information. General Liu's henchman, Liu Shoshan, after learning that our internal information was made public, took Liu Shoshan's token, went to the archives, and deleted all the information in the case of Zhao Cheng and the Blood Fury servant, and erased some information. Zhao Cheng's case is the time for General Liu to apply to his superiors to investigate the mysterious power. The Blood Fury servant case was the beginning of General Liu's attack on us. Zhao Shan's face changed slightly. You mean, these two are related? What is the relationship between Zhao Cheng and the Blood Fury servant? Xuan cleared his throat and said, I suspect that a certain powerful concubine came out to practice. The first time he found Zhao Cheng to practice his hands, and the second time he found a Blood Fury servant to practice his hands. The most important thing is that the Guardian Bureau has actually been monitoring our movements since the beginning of the Blood Fury servant case, but after learning that the internal information has been made public, all official organizations are taking the opportunity to hold us accountable and want to make oil. Only the Guardian Bureau quickly reduced its original surveillance and maintained a strict distance. You say, why are they doing that? Zhao Shan's face was so gloomy that it dripped water. I'm afraid of provoking trouble that I shouldn't cause. Quote. Will Liu Da be afraid of provoking the Clover Group? He is a military general, although he does not have much foundation from scratch, but he has a strong background, and his faction really does not fear the Clover Group. He was afraid of provoking the mighty, or the mighty. Xuan put his finger on the refinery's report pointedly. Look, this time, it doesn't look like the third experience. Zhao Shan gasped, feeling that all this was colluding, and there was no reason why a genius cultivator would target the Clover Group for no reason. Xuan's eyes were deep, and his finger nodded on the photo of the owner of the refinery. Young Master Zhao, I think it's still time for us to withdraw, whether there are those or not, at least the strength of this first-order cultivator, but it has killed the defense system of our entire refinery. Genius is not born out of thin air. Quote, if there is a powerful person behind this genius, it all makes sense. Zhao Shan was unwilling and clenched his fists. If this matter is not handled well, it will affect my status in the Zhao family. Wei Lan said faintly, if what you said is true, then we have already offended this great power, and we have completely offended death. The air fell silent, and the two talkers looked at the shrewd strong woman. Wei Lan looked strange. You guys forgot. We have already killed that national character face battle chi cultivator, and the newly emerged one is suspected to be his descendant, and the strength is stronger. Moreover, according to the investigation, this person who claimed to be a violent messenger of justice was a good person in the city at the beginning, and he was all improvisational. It wasn't until we issued the chase and kill order that the goal of this second-generation violent messenger of justice was clearly addressed to us. Xuan's face suddenly became difficult to see. Moreover, this second-generation violent justice messenger has obviously received stronger support, and the illusion technique that shrouded the entire factory in the refining factory is most likely the powerful person who personally made a move. That space device is also very likely to be powerful. Quote. The more the three people reasoned, the more they felt that they were pushing in the right place. Zhao Shan's face turned green. Have the results of the refinery's spell residue fluctuation inspection come out? Quote. This is an important clue to be able to see who is behind the refinery incident. Xuan swallowed his saliva and hurriedly picked up the phone to urge the test results from the refinery. Soon, the spell test results were sent to Xuan's mobile phone. Xuan opened it and saw that his face turned green on the spot. We only detected the spell fluctuation of one person, the spell fluctuation of a first-order cultivator, just that violent messenger of justice. Quote. Is this normal? This is completely abnormal. All the evidence points to the worst. Wei Lan was shocked and looked terrified. This is impossible. How could only one person be found? Isn't it a gang crime? Quote. It's the worst outcome she doesn't even want to see. Zhao Shan's face turned green and green. For these local instruments, the upper limit of the inspection is the fourth order. Quote. Or, it's a fifth order cultivator who made a move. Or, it was that great power who sat in secret and watching his family use the refining factory as a place for training. Combine previous intelligence. The probability of mysterious power is greater. Otherwise, General Liu would not have applied for the investigation by his superiors. General Liu himself is a sixth-order command-type battle cultivator, and it is impossible not to see the fifth-order or sixth-order spell fluctuations. Seventh-order spells, he can see one or two. Therefore, it can only be said that Liangcheng does have a powerful haunt. And now, the group of three main talkers, before they landed, ordered the killing of the violent justice messenger, successfully offending a mysterious power. It is suspected that he has offended an eighth-order powerhouse. How can he leave Liangcheng alive? Wait online, it's quite urgent, it's almost dead. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.